right, I'd like to welcome everyone to the Health Science Scholars Day session. I am your session chair, Dr. Jennifer Boyle from the Department of Health Science. If anybody needs a form signed to verify your attendance at the session, I'll be happy to do that for you afterwards. So at the close of the session, just come down and I'll sign your form. I'd like to introduce our speakers for today. We have Bobbi McDonald, Shannon Scheening, and Melissa Shaw. They are all seniors in the School and Community Health Education Program in the Department of Health Science. And they're going to be presenting their project, Sun Safety, Shield Us Now, a melanoma prevention program for college students. We'll reserve the last 5 or so minutes of 10 minutes of the session for questions, so if you could hold your questions until the end, that'd be great. And I will turn it over to Melissa, or Bobbi. Shannon.
Okay, so melanoma is a cancer that begins in the melanocytes, the cells that produce the skin coloring or pigment known as melanin. Melanoma is the most serious type of skin cancer. Although melanoma accounts for only a small percentage of skin cancer, it is far more dangerous than other skin cancers and causes most skin cancer deaths. Okay, so when looking at or when researching the the mortality and morbidity, we wanted to find a national agenda addressing melanoma skin cancer. Whoops. Okay. So we found that Healthy People 2010 called for an 11% reduction, or a rate of 2.5 per 100,000 people in deaths caused by melanoma skin cancer. So looking at this chart, we're looking at the death rates of melanoma skin cancer from 2003 to 2007. And we look at the national death rate is 2.7 per 100,000 people, and Monroe County's death rate for melanoma skin cancer is 3.8 per 100,000 people. So as you can see, the the Monroe County death rate for melanoma skin cancer is significantly higher than our national rate. Next, we looked at the age-adjusted national melanoma skin cancer death rates per 100,000 people. By demographic, and we also looked at gender. These statistics are from 2007, and we retrieved it from the National Cancer Institute SEER Cancer Statistics. So when we're looking at the chart, we see white males have a death rate of 4.5 per 100,000 people, while white females have a death rate of 2.0 per 100,000 people. When we look at Black Americans, we see that males have a death rate of 0.51 per 100,000 people, while Black females have a 0.45 death rate per 100,000 people. So the death rate for white males was 8 times greater than that of Black males, while the death rate for white females was 3 times greater than that of Black females. So among white Americans, the population that is the highest risk for developing melanoma skin cancer, the death rates are twice as high in males as in females. So the college at Brockport, our demographics are 88.5% of our students are white non-Hispanic, while 6% of our students are African American, and we have 5.5% other races. So due to the vast majority of white non-Hispanic students on the college at Brockport campus, our campus population reflects the characteristics of those individuals that are most at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer. Next, we wanted to take a look at the incident rates of males and white non-Hispanic males and females, since this category is the highest risk for developing melanoma skin cancer. Now, these statistics are also from 2003 to 2007. When we take a look at our national incidence rate, it's at 6.5 per 100,000 people. And then we looked at Monroe County's, which is 15.96 per 100,000 people. And when looking at Monroe County's, we wanted to compare that to a community that was similar to ours in New York State. So we compared Monroe County's incidence rates for white males and females to that of Oswego County. Oswego and Monroe Counties are comparable in the fact that they both have SUNY college communities residing within their counties. So when we look at, okay, Monroe County has 15.96 per 100,000 for white males and females combined, and then Oswego County is just 12.91 per 100,000 people. So Monroe County is significantly greater than Oswego County's rate per 100,000 people for white non-Hispanic males and females combined. So Monroe County's is significantly higher. Next, we looked at behaviors that influence the incidence and prevalence of melanoma skin cancer. We also looked for a national agenda on this topic as well. We found that Healthy People 2010 stated an objective that reflects a need for the increase in the use of protective measures to reduce the risk of melanoma. So the intention was to have 75% of adults aged 18 and older use at least one protective measure, such as sunscreen with a sun protective factor of 15 or greater, every time they're exposed, they expose themselves to UV light. So there are indeed national objectives or agendas that are supporting the use of protective measures to reduce the risk of developing melanoma skin cancer. Okay, so we wanted to look at if students were using or intending to use sunscreen during sun exposure. So we looked at the American College Health Association's National College Health Assessment Survey that all college students take once a year. We found data nationally from the years 2008 and 2009, and we compared that data to Brockport's assessment survey from 2007. So for the national data, we found out that 46% of students nationally were reporting not regularly wearing sunscreen during sun exposure. Now the next year, in 2009, 48.3% of students were reporting not regularly wearing sunscreen during sun exposure. So just nationally, our numbers bumped up 2.3%. When we compare that to Brockport's data for 2007, 82% of Brockport college students were reporting not wearing sunscreen during sun exposure. So that's a significant difference in percentage there, and that this shows that our national agenda for 2010 for sun protective measures is not being met. Okay. Next, we looked at contributing factors to the lack of sunscreen use. Those top contributing factors include minimal or no melanoma knowledge, reluctant to believe that they can develop melanoma, the belief that melanoma is not a deadly disease, a lack of skills to use or properly use sunscreen, and also an unhealthy attitude toward sunscreen. Here at Brockport, our major contributors from our Brockport stakeholders included lack of knowledge, low awareness, and seriousness of melanoma, their personal beliefs about developing melanoma, and also the availability of sunscreen. So there's a need for greater availability of sunscreen during campus-wide events and everyday activities. Increased accessibility to sunscreen would reduce the students' perceived barriers against sunscreen use and in turn promote more regular use of sunscreen. We further researched the impact of knowledge and awareness for contributing factors of melanoma on the students' behavior to wear sunscreen regularly. We looked at the knowledge of and awareness about melanoma survey, and 42% of the respondents reported that they had no knowledge of melanoma at all. So furthermore, 50% of men and 35% of women for these respondents reported not knowing the term melanoma. So they had no idea about melanoma. When we looked at awareness of skin cancer, we looked at two different age groups. One is 24 to 65-year-olds. And when looking at those, only 38% said that they were aware of melanoma as a skin cancer, and 62% were unaware of melanoma as a skin cancer. And then the bottom pie there is dealing with the age group of 18 to 24-year-olds. Now, just only 16% of that group said that they were aware of melanoma as a skin cancer, and then 84% were unaware. The majority of Brockport College students falls into this 18 to 24 age group category, so we can kind of compare our statistics to these. By increasing the knowledge of melanoma among the students at the college at Brockport, there will be an increase in personal protective measures such as sunscreen use. Okay. To examine the contributors that found in our research, specifically among college at Brockport students, we conducted a focus group here on campus. Our focus group was held on Tuesday, September 14th of 2010. It was at 5:30 p.m. in Hartwell Hall. Our recruitment consisted of mass email, personal invitations from group members to friends and previous classmates throughout the campus. We had 6 participants. Those participants consisted of 5 seniors and 1 junior. 3 were male and 3 were female. Our age range was 20 to 23. And all of our participants lived on campus. Their majors included health science, business, and accounting. During the focus group, we had 1 facilitator, we had 2 note takers, and 1 person observing throughout the focus group. Our incentives to our participants included pizza, water, and $5 Tim Horton gift cards.